Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda Pinkerman and I am starting my YouTube channel. I am very excited to be here and I'm excited that you've found me. I am ready to hit the ground running in 2017. I've been in intensive research of study mode now since about 2003. It makes it about 14 years worth of information that I think it's time I start to get out there and share it with other people. I've been developing my own skills and opening up my own frequencies within myself to be who I'm meant to be here on this planet is what I feel like I'm being drawn towards magnetically. So I would define myself as a clairvoyant, an intuit, an empath. I am also a somatic cellular release life coach, which means I can help you navigate through the cellular aspect of your body and release any traumatic events that have caused patterns, negative patterns to develop in your life. What I help you do is find that epiphany or the reason that it's happening, and we start to shift it at a cellular level within the body, and then you start to see the people around you, the events, the circumstances in your life start to shift too. I'm here today to talk about the shift in consciousness that we're going through on planet Earth. I'm very excited about it. I feel like it's been hitting me in strong waves lately, especially, and I've had a lot of intense meditations. So there's a lot to put out there. I'm just going to get started. And here I am. So I hope that you come back and see my channel and check me out. I'm looking forward to putting out a lot of video blogs here in 2017 and starting to help people cipher through the information that's available. There's a lot going on in the world right now. It's very chaotic. We're in a very kind of harmonic shift on the planet. We are going in a vibrational shift from the third dimension into the fourth dimension. And I know people talk about the fifth. I'm really not confident at the aspect of the fifth dimension at this point, but what I am confident is we're moving from third dimensional beings that exist in the dualistic experience of love and hate, which we're here to learn about love, but we're welcome to experience hate too, as much, and that's always a choice. And then we're moving into the fourth dimension. Some will graduate, some will remain in the third dimension, and some will move on to the fourth dimension. So it just kind of depends where you are, what you want to do, and where your soul is. I am here to help guide anybody who is looking to move into the fourth dimension in a positive way for the upcoming harvest. And that is probably a lot to just put out there right there. I know that 2012 was a big year that a lot of people talk about, and they thought that we were going to have this huge shift, and I think in a large part it was. It was the end of the precession of the equinox, which is described by the Mayan calendar as this 25,920 year cycle that we go through. And what's actually happening with that, which can be defined as the great year, is just like we rotate around our sun, and then it takes 365 days, and we call that a year. We go around our sun, our solar system that we exist in with the 9 planets in it here, also rotates around a galactic center. So whether that's a black hole or what exactly is at the center that our sun is rotating around, I'm not quite confident on that. I'm sure you can find some research on it, but from my understanding, I just go with it's a giant black hole in the center of our universe. And we are rotating around that. And it takes 25,920 years to complete one rotation. And we spend half of that in a time of awakening and half of that in a time of kind of a slumber or a sleep dark age period. So the 2012 calendar brought us into the beginning of the calendar, and it is a time of awakening for humanity. It's a time of awakening for our entire solar system. There are huge energy pulses that have been coming towards our planet, full of light, full of photons that are going to be changing our DNA and shifting our structure. There are other aspects of the universe that have been holding us back from expanding our DNA and bringing that light into our bodies, but for those that are ready, the time is now, and you got to start doing your work. So I'm here to help guide you in that process. From my understanding, the Earth was vibrating at the frequency of Ohm, which is about 7.82 megahertz, maybe 7.83. And starting in 2014, the planet started to shift to higher vibrational frequencies, sometimes spiking up over 16 megahertz. We're sitting at about, I think, I'm getting like an 8.2, 8.3, although scientifically I would have to research that to confirm it. But what that means is that we're moving into a higher octave. The planet has already moved into the fourth dimension, so that's why it is vibrating at a higher frequency. There may be things that I say here that are highly controversial, but I would say just listen to the information, see where it sits for you. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it. There's free will. I'm not here to change anybody's mind or to make anybody think one way or another. I think that we all can take information and process it how it works best for our personal experience here on planet Earth. So with that being said, moving to a higher octave does mean that our planet is warming up. All of the planets in our entire solar system are actually warming up as we go through this change that's occurring at a cellular, a DNA, a photon, a structural, a conscious level within the human species, and likely even the second density beings, the animals, the plant life, the trees, everything's starting to shift here on the planet. So I'm here to be a guide and to help anybody who needs coaching along the way or wants to have a reading, have a new perspective, be brought kind of like just a different viewpoint of how to look at the world. I see it very differently than most, and I understand that sometimes that's going to be difficult for people, and that's okay. That's what it's about. It's about having this conversation. It's about putting stuff out there. It's about seeing things shift and change, and it's all from our own individual perspective. We are each a piece of the one. I follow, I'm a student of the Law of One, which was translated and channeled in the 80s. It's spoken a lot of by David Wilcock on his Gaia channel. Wisdom Teachings and Cosmic Disclosure, both of which I have followed him and read a bunch of his books. So in doing that, I feel that I have started to connect spiritually to a whole nother aspect of the universe that didn't exist to my knowledge prior to even beginning to experience the Law of One. So I would start there and say it's definitely a fascinating series of books to read. It will shift your consciousness. But I have to be honest, it took me a couple years to just read book one. So I finally completed that, and I'm now ready to move on to book two. That being said, I am here as a healer. I am on Facebook and I am on YouTube. Facebook, I'm Amanda Pinkerman Healer. On YouTube, I am PinkLight999, and that's the current exposure of my social media. I was hoping 2017 might be the year I disconnect, but it's looking like it's the year I might start actually connecting with people. So I'm going to put out my stuff. So where from there? Well, the world is in a very chaotic space right now, and what seems to be happening is a lot of fear is being pushed, and that's been pushed for decades upon us. I have gone through a major awakening in 2016. I started my trail, my pathway journey to awakening. I would say I started in 2003. So I had my first experience with spirit in 2003, and from there have been just driven and pulled and pushed to learn and to read and to seek. And the more that I seek, and as soon as I get to what I think is the ultimate answer, I find that I know nothing. So I start back at the bottom, and I am piled down with more books and more data and more research and more information. And so I'm just like you. I'm a student of humanity. I'm a student of being a human, and I am here to help you move through it as I move through it and teach you what I've been learning. So outside of that, I think I just wanted to introduce myself and put it out there. There's a lot I'm going to start going through. You can check back. I can't even say how often at this point. Whenever I feel motivated or driven, I'm going to be creating a video and putting it up. I'm excited for the shift in consciousness. I think 2017 is going to be a huge year for humanity, and we have a harvest upon us. It's time to start considering whether you want to remain in the third density or if you're ready to graduate into the fourth density. And we can explain that as we go forth. There's a lot out there, and I'm super excited. Thanks for showing up. Talk to you soon.